everyone's just figuring it out. The only people that fail are the people that start to believe that they're not capable. I initially started out as Matt Weiner's part-time assistant. I was a server at the time. I was going to college. I started stuffing mailers for him. The director of operations at that time resigned, and Lori started freaking out. She's like, have you thought about having a career in real estate? Like, you're great at what you do. And it took me a long time to answer her question because it's just not what I had in mind.
How did you manage that pressure when everyone's depending on you now from two different businesses?
Zillow gave us 260 pages and said, here, go run a business that they hadn't run and they knew nothing about. And basically it was like a crash course on how to be an entrepreneur and a master MBA program. I didn't even know what their job descriptions were. I had to be transparent and said, hey, like, this is the title. I don't really know what it looks like. Do you want to come along for the ride? I was really selling people on a vision that I wasn't really even sure of.
Are you even 30 years old yet? No.
I am.
Now?
I'm turning 32 this week. You can't change what you don't own. So if I didn't own it, how could I expect a different outcome? I hate the word balance because balance means 50-50, and that just isn't possible. It doesn't exist. I just really want to help a few real estate agents build a business that they could exit from, because that's the biggest struggle. A lot of real estate agents don't invest in their retirement. They don't think about their retirement. They're always focused on chasing that next commission check. And if you don't prepare for the future, you wake up one day and you're like, what am I going to do?
So today I have a very special guest here in the Loan Lounge, Camila Rivera. This is actually a special one for me because I've known Camila for 11 years now.
Crazy.
Very crazy. And we have grown together definitely in our businesses. I've seen you start as a part-time helper with one of the agents on the team to now becoming COO of one of the largest real estate teams in Broward, or the largest in Broward. So that's a heck of an accomplishment. So listen, I'm excited to engage about the story and kind of tell our viewers how you went from assisting somebody as a real estate agent to becoming COO in 11 years. That's a pretty big thing. So I guess let's talk about how you started. So tell me, what was your first role? What was the early days like?
Well, first, thank you for having me, Joey. Excited to be having this conversation here with you today. So I initially started out as Matt Weiner's part-time assistant. I was a server at the time. I was going to college. I was going to school. And I had known Lori, and I said, hey, I'm interested in learning more about the industry. Do you have anyone in your office that needs any additional help? And Matt at that time did. And so I started stuffing mailers for him. As he likes to say, I started in the mailroom.
In the mailroom here. Stuffing mailers. Wow.
Yep, stuffing mailers. And what I always say is that the best part about my experience is that I got to join the company when everyone was working in the office, because I know that's not an opportunity that a lot of people have these days. So I was in an office with the top producers, Renee, Natalie West, Lori, Saria. So being in that environment played such a big role in where I am today, for sure.
I mean, so first thing I'm going to say is normally people start, out of college and they try a couple of different companies. Longevity has been a really strong thing for you. Did you ever imagine yourself as, I'm going to be the COO of this company? Like, when you started, how big was the company?
We were a total of probably like 12, 13 people. And no, I absolutely did not think that I was going to have a career in real estate. I thought it was just, hey, I'm going to get an internship, just an opportunity to add to my resume. But a few months into working with Matt, he didn't need the support any longer. And Lori was like, hey, we absolutely need more help. Why don't you come work with me and the director of operations at that time? So I started working for them 30 hours a week. And then I would go to school at night.
So was there a moment that you realized then, like, okay, wait a minute, I can do more than just be an assistant?
Well, truthfully, what happened was I had given my 3-month resignation, and I was getting ready. I went to school to be an educational teacher, and I was getting ready to do all my clinicals. And I said, I'm not going to have the same type of availability. So I gave my 3-month resignation. And then between that 3-month period, the director of operations at that time resigned. And Lori started freaking out. I was like, what am I going to do? And then we just had a conversation, and she's like, have you thought about having a career in real estate? Like, you're great at what you do. Is this something you'd consider? And it took me a long time to answer her question because it's just not what I had in mind for myself.
It wasn't in your plan.
It wasn't in my plan. But I was like, here I am, like getting to work alongside a CEO, a business owner, learning from her, being in this environment. Like, I'm always going to have the opportunity to go be a teacher. Like there's always going to like need more teachers. And so I was like, I knew that this opportunity wouldn't come around as often. And so I decided to take it. And it's been 11 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's one heck of a story. And it's crazy because when you look back and you're like, all right, I had this plan. I was going down this road and I'm going to be a teacher. And here's my resignation. Thank you for all the assistance while I was in school. And it's like, no, wait a minute. I want you to now, to look at maybe becoming a very integral piece of that team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, fast forward, what was that? 2015, 2014,
2015.
2015. So you become the director of operations.
Yep.
You start working with the agents. You start working on building a team. What would you say your next big milestone was?
Well, Lori started taking me to events, to family reunion, and I started, yep. And the great thing about attending those events is that it opens up to your mind to like the opportunities, how big you could grow these businesses. You get to learn from people that are doing 2-3 times what you're doing. And I started to see, I'm like, wow, we have a lot of potential. Right. And Lori also started to get in rooms with people that were doing larger things. And so both of us exposing ourselves and making relationships with people that were doing things that we could only ever dream of started to push ourselves. Okay, are we thinking about this as a business, about scaling, about offering more opportunities to agents and helping them grow their business? And being in those environments just really pushed me to push our boundaries within our own company.
Yeah, it's in other words, you were looking at it like, I'm not going to be the standard real estate company.
Right.
Right. And honestly, it was a very strong team environment, still is a strong team environment, except it went from like what, 15 agents to what do you guys have now?
Well, we're right around 80 agents.
Okay. So that's like a huge growth. And you got to do all that with Lori. And one of the things that I know, family reunion, I got to sit in some rooms as well. I think one of the biggest things I've learned is don't let your ego get in your own way of growth, because you might think you have it all, but you really don't. There's somebody out there always doing more, and you can always learn from them. And I love the whole R&D thing. I'm big in the research and duplicating, right? Rip and duplicate.
For sure. And something that's important about not letting your ego get in the way is that the minute you stop growing is the minute you think you know it all, right? And business is evolving. Consumer behavior is evolving. Yeah. Like the way we do business, the way consumers want to be communicating is evolving and will never stay the same. So if you just want to dissolve your business, you should stop being in these rooms. But you always have to continue to learn from other people.
And with all the changes in the market, right? With all the changes, I mean, that's one thing I've learned is that business today is not what it was 15 years ago.
No.
It is a completely different animal.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I know Lori was one of your obviously mentors. Any other major mentors along the way that you can say, yeah, this person really helped me grow?
I mean, so many people. I mean, I think I have a lot of respect for real estate agents. I say this all the time. There's not many people that are willing to wake up every single day and bet on themselves. And I got to understand that being in that environment. I'm like, these people do not have a paycheck coming to them on a specific day.
Benefits, yeah.
Yeah, benefits. They're waking up every single day and betting on themselves. And it takes a certain type of human being to live that type of environment. So, I mean, I think all the agents in the office played such a big role, like Matt, Saria, Renee, Roman, in helping me understand like consumer behavior, market trends, and understanding what made them successful. I mean, working with you and learning your business. I just try to learn from everyone because I think we all have different strengths. And if you're always listening, you'll always learn something new that you can implement into your business.
Yeah, it's crazy. And being in those rooms and being in those conferences, I know just for myself, in fact, I'm going to a conference this week. I always come back with something.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things I did learn probably like 5 years ago is don't go to a conference full of notes from a thing and you can't implement like 27 changes.
No.
Pick 2 or 3 things that you can really move forward with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously transitioning from the mailroom to the COO, director of operations, was that a hard transition with people and staff in the office? I mean, at this point also too, I just want to say you were probably what, 21?
Yeah, 21, 22.
Okay, so okay, so like you just were able to drink and now you're like director of operations. So, I mean, I had a young career as well, so I know it's tougher.
Yeah.
Was that tough? What did you see struggles? Was there any transitional time?
Yeah. The one thing that I am always so grateful for Lori, one of many things, is that she believed in me and saw something in myself before I saw it in myself, right? Like she knew I had the potential to be the director of operations. Like transparently at the beginning, I'm like uncomfortable with the title because I'm like, wait, I just got
out
this
of college.
yeah, like I just took on this responsibility. And obviously the age thing, I was like, here I am. I'm like the youngest one. They've all been in the business a lot longer than I have. But I think people always knew that I had their best interests at heart. And I was always trying to help everyone in the company and help the business grow. And I made it a point to get to know people and understand them and let them know that really my job was just to provide more opportunity for them in the company. And I think when people know that you're there to help them, they have a lot of respect for that.
One of the things I highly respect that you've done, which was during COVID, you guys took on the whole Zillow Offers thing.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the workload that you had, because I had a big workload, but yeah, you took on a whole new animal.
Yeah.
Built out another business within the business that was there. And I mean, that is just huge. How did you manage that pressure when everyone's depending on you now from two different businesses?
Yeah. So Zillow Offers is the best thing that has ever happened to me in my career. Essentially, Zillow gave us 260 pages and said, here, go run a business that they hadn't run and they knew nothing about, right?
And it wasn't by ChatGPT either.
No, there was no ChatGPT.
Yep.
And they had never bought and sold in South Florida. So they didn't know all the nuances and the differences about South Florida. And basically it was like a crash course on like how to be an entrepreneur and a master MBA program, because there was no other option than to learn as you went, right? And there was a lot of pivoting. And I think the one thing that Lori and I did really well is that we made sure to onboard a lot of people to help support that business growth. And there was a lot of bumps along the way.
But I mean, honestly, you guys had to get another location in like no time. I mean, I went to the other location.
We had to open an office. We had to hire 15 people.
Get up internet, email, serve, furniture. I mean,
I didn't even know what their job descriptions were. I had to be transparent. Said, hey, like this is the title. I don't really know what it looks like. Do you want to come along for the ride? I was really selling people on a vision that I wasn't really even sure of, but I knew it meant big opportunity for everyone.
A huge opportunity. That was your biggest year, right?
Yeah, we sold like 3,000 homes that year.
I mean, that to me is that's a staggering number.
Yeah,
that's something to really check off in a box, like winning like 6 Super Bowls, basically. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible.
And the amount that you learn in a short period of time when going through all of that is you just can't put a price on it.
Well, that's something I had a conversation previously with somebody. In our business, it's a learning business, but you're only learning from experience. So you have 2 ways, in my opinion, to learn. One, get on a team where there's people that are producing and shadow someone.
Yeah.
Like work with somebody.
Yeah.
Because that's to me is one of the best ways, because you can't hit every wall until you're actually doing it. Yeah. It's really hard for an agent, to be a sole agent in an island somewhere, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Same thing with mortgages.
Yeah.
You get your mortgage license, doesn't mean you're just going to open the door and pop up shop and start closing loans.
Right.
There's a lot that goes through. So, I mean, the fact that you got that experience in that short amount of time, what was it, 2 years?
Yeah, it was like 2.5 years.
2.5 years. I mean, the amount of experience. And I remember us having conversations about the condo nuances because that was one of the struggles they were having.
Yeah.
So it's just so much learning along the way. It's crazy to me that you get that done and you get that experience. I mean, you're never going to get that. Right? That's invaluable.
Right. And one thing that gave me a lot of confidence during that time, because there were moments where I was like, how are they trusting me to know what to do right now? Was that everyone's just figuring it out. Like, we're all just figuring it out. And the only people that fail are the people that start to believe that they're not capable.
I just don't know where you found the hours. Where did you find the time of the day to run 2 businesses? Because that's really what was happening.
I mean, it's just called the no option plan. And great leverage. Honestly, great leverage. We had great team members that were running the traditional real estate model. And we had great team members that were running the Zillow Offers.
The new model.
The new model.
That literally you created in 30 days.
And we were hiring, offboarding, firing. I mean, there was a lot of pivoting during that time. But it was the people. I mean, without the people, you can't do anything.
Yeah, and that's something that's cool. So being a COO now, when did that transition? When did that take place?
That took place right around Zillow Offers. I think it was like 2022.
So you're now the COO of the company. You're basically second in charge, right? Big responsibility. Are you even 30 years old yet? No.
I am.
Now.
I'm turning 32 this week.
Right, but not when you became COO.
Oh, no.
You weren't even 30.
Yeah, no.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're COO of the largest real estate team in Florida. You're doing 3,000 transactions. I mean, it's got to be a heavy lift. How did that feel at that point when you got that title? Was it like amazing, or you're just like, wow, like I'm shocked, or did I earn this, or?
Well, I knew that the experience from Zillow Offers, I was like, having gone through that, I think put me in a really good position. But I mean, it feels good when things are going good, and when things are not, you're looking at yourself and you're like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, what's happening? Right. And I think a lot of people think that, I mean, I always say, like, when things are going great, it's because you have great team members. And when things aren't going great, it's like, what is leadership doing to change that and pivot and make it better?
So one thing that I'll say, which is a great lesson I learned, and you obviously have it, is you do some thumb pointing. And
Yep.
a lot of people do a lot of finger pointing in our industry. And it's not. The leadership has to thumb point.
Yeah.
And one of my coaches told me that a while ago. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. He's like, you got to look at yourself. If something's not going the way you want to go, you got to start at the top.
And that's the only way, right? You can't change what you don't own.
Yeah.
So if I didn't own it, how could I expect a different outcome? So when there's been hard moments, because there is, right? Real estate is navigating the ups and downs. It's been like, hey, what are you doing? Like, where are you not showing up? What are you not giving attention to? And being honest with yourself, even when it sucks.
So like, if you're going to give some advice to some people, right now, operationally, what's a couple of big mistakes that you would say that you shouldn't do as an operator? Because obviously you're running this place strong. It's doing great. You guys are constantly growing. What is a big mistake that you would say, hey, don't do this?
So this has been a painful one, and it's not taking action quick enough. What do I mean by that? As an operator, you're constantly looking at leading indicators. You're looking at numbers, right? Not results driven, because that's already from work that happened 120 days ago. When you're looking at the leading indicators, are you taking action fast enough? And one of the places when the market started to shift that we didn't take action quick enough was, unfortunately, and we had to release some employees. And we thought that it was in the best interest of them and us to hold on to it and try to navigate the storm, but it wasn't, right? We should have taken action a lot faster and shared what was happening with people. And so it's, if you're looking at leading indicators every single day, you know where things are trending, right? And of course, you're going to pivot and make decisions, but don't take a long time, especially in our business, because what we start working on today, we're not going to see the results of that for another 90, 120 days.
Yeah.
So take action quickly is definitely my number one piece of advice.
So one thing I will say is it's hard to be proactive on those situations, right? And I don't think you were reactive, but I think being proactive on the overall scale on the company is tough. As a salesperson, you can be proactive, right? You can make sure you're actively targeting your people and actively making your follow-ups and not reacting to something. I feel like when you're running a business, it's tough. What advice would you give to, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's tough, but it's your job as the operator to stay 30,000 foot view in and looking at the business, because everyone else is working in their lane and just focus on the day to day. So something that I do every Monday and Friday is I review all of those numbers. Like, okay, where did we end the week? Where are we against our goals? And what are we pacing at for next week? And then that following Monday, I'm like, okay, do we have enough interviews booked? Do we have enough team lead appointments? Like, is everything tracking? Because if not, I need to take action now. And so it's building a system that helps you be consistent in being proactive.
Yeah. And one thing I will say is when you said staff and stuff, it's happened for me. It's picking the right staff to help you grow, like operations managers, the right team behind you for your back end, because your back end is so important. The support staff. It's really tough to get people to really come into your culture, right? And grow with that. And one of the things I was going to ask you is, like, if you see somebody now, a smaller team, right? You went through this. You went from 12 to 15 to 85, or I think one point well over 100.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you give advice to someone trying to grow a smaller team right now?
I think find your who. Like you mentioned, it's all about the people. The hardest part about business is people, right? Systems and processes, that's easy. Technology, that's easy. It's the people. And the question I get all the time is, how did Lori find you? Like, where did she meet you? And it's not so much about where she met me, but it's once we built a relationship, she was transparent with me and what she wanted to build and asked me if I wanted to be along for the ride, and then also invested in my growth and let me fail along the way, because I have failed a lot. And that's very painful for CEOs and business owners to do. I mean, it's painful for me, as I want the people that I'm working alongside to grow and develop. I have to let them fail, because that's how we learn. And
it's expensive to fail.
And it's expensive to fail. I've definitely had some moments where I'm like, oh God, I'm about to call Lori. This is not going to be a good one.
No, it's never good. Nobody wants that.
It's never good. But as long as you don't make the mistake twice.
But it's part of growth.
Yeah.
I feel like we just talked about hitting walls. You have to hit walls in every aspect of business.
Right.
You're not going to get it if you don't hit the walls.
But if you're learning from them, then that's the best experience you want for your people, right? If someone's making the same mistake twice, like, of course, there's a concern there, but it's never the same mistake. It's like, hey, we're also hitting new parts of growth that both her and I have never been on. So we're both learning and growing.
I think one of the big things too is measure that. So like if you're going to make a major change, measure. If it's not working, go back to the other one. Don't wait too long. Don't stay in that new change too long. I think that's where a lot of people get lost when they're growing and building a business. You make a change, you make a shift, and then instead of correcting it, if it's not getting the results you want, it's taking too long to go back to the previous what was working.
It's going back to like not taking action quickly. A lot of people get committed to that new idea working. And if everything's showing you that it's not having the impact that you once thought, it's okay to write it off.
Yeah. So one thing that I'm really excited is you're personally, you're going to be a mom soon.
I am.
You're going to be a mommy, which is awesome. I've raised 2 kids, so I know the expectation. My kids are my last one's off to college, so it's wild. So, I mean, how does this change your life? Your perspective on business and life. What's changing now that you're going to be a mom?
Well, a lot is changing. But I'm excited. I mean, I've gone to work alongside a lot of incredible parents and see that you could have a great life, be a great mom, be a great dad, be a great business operator.
Yeah, it's not career ending by any means.
And so I'm just excited to now join the motherhood journey. And I have a lot of friends that are moms, a lot of friends. So I'm excited.
I know a lot of your friends that are moms. So yeah, there's a lot of babies running around.
I know.
It's wild. I was just at my nephew's house the other weekend. There's like 4 little babies running. I'm like, look at all these kids, and mine are like done. Why are 1 pilot and 1 leaving to college? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
So do you think the motherhood's being a mom now is gonna help you leadership wise? You think it'll make you even a stronger leader? Is it gonna give you some different views, you think?
Well, what I hear is that motherhood is the hardest job, and you are a leader. And so I do believe that it will translate and help me become a better leader in my professional life. And I'm excited for that. I'm sure it'll also help me continue to become more and more empathetic. So we'll see. We'll have to do another podcast afterwards.
And we'll bring her in. We'll bring him. Yeah, we'll bring him in. Are you thinking work-life balance? That's like a big deal now, right? Becoming a mommy. How do you plan on handling that? Or are you planning for that? Or what's your game plan?
So I hate the word balance because balance means 50-50, and that just isn't possible. It doesn't exist. And something that John Sheplick, that I know who he is, and he's had a massive impact in my career, he talks about is finding your rhythm. And that looks different for every single person. Your rhythm and what works for you in your work life is different to what might work for mine. And so I don't have an expectation on myself of like, balance just means like everything has to be equal. And that's just not realistic. I mean, we go to work for 50, 60 hours a day. Like it's just not possible Monday through Friday. I have another
need sleep. Yeah,
I need sleep. I need, so I think I'm going to get better at prioritizing what's important.
I think also too, a word you use is leverage. So leverage is huge. And one thing I've been doing for me is obviously I've ops manager, which has helped me a lot. And I hate to say this, but AI is wild.
Oh yeah.
I've built out systems where I'm not running reports anymore. I have leaderboards. I know what's happening in submissions. Things that would take me hours are down to minutes now.
Yeah.
And I think embracing the AI and doing that has been great.
Oh my God. And Gary Keller says something. He's like, a lot of people always like to talk about everything or the long work days that they have. They like to say like, I work 10, 12 hours a day. Yeah. He's like, I work 4 hours a day and I can accomplish a lot more than what you accomplish in 12 hours.
Yeah, it's not about the time.
It's not about the time. It's about the leverage. It's about the people in your life. It's about the technology, AI.
It's also about completing all your tasks while you're here. A lot of people will come, but then you're going to talk about the weekend. And just because you're at the office for 10 hours doesn't mean you were at the office for 10 hours working.
Right.
You talked about your weekend. You talked about what you ate. You talked about your Mother's Day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like, come in with a purpose, get it done, and then cool.
Yeah.
You can get your job done. I 100% agree with that.
So it's being efficient with the time that you do have.
Correct. 100%. So this is more on a personal level. So like, I know my disconnect and recharge is. What's yours?
Travel. I love traveling. And I'm a big foodie. A lot of people know that. Love trying new restaurants.
I love food.
And just hanging out with the people that I love.
Yeah, travel's your big one, huh?
Yeah, love
So that's going to
traveling.
definitely affect now with motherhood.
I know.
You're going to have to learn how to be a baby traveler now.
Don't worry, I have all the travel gadgets on my registry. I have a travel stroller. I'm
so
prepared.
You know where it's happening.
Yes.
So let's get into now motherhood, future of the team. I mean, you've been with this brokerage now since day one, basically, right? You're day one out of school. What do you feel your vision is in the next few years for the team?
I just want to continue to be the destination brokerage for clients when they are buying and selling, feel like they can trust the agents that work inside of our company that's going to help them navigate one of the largest transactions they will ever have in their
I have
lifetime.
to argue that it's probably the largest transaction anybody ever
For most
buys.
people, it is the largest.
The largest, yeah.
100%. And a lot of times that means that like people have been saving for years to buy this purchase, or when they sell, this is what they're counting on their retirement for. Like there's a lot of emotions associated with buying and selling real estate.
Especially like when they're downsizing and or divorce sales.
Yeah.
Our job is very emotional, 100%. And having something go wrong is very difficult.
Which is why it's important to be aligned with people that are empathetic and understand that and want to deliver a good customer experience.
Yeah.
And then also being the platform for agents that want to continue to learn and grow, making sure that they have access to the right technology, the right leadership, the right opportunities so that they can grow their business as big as they want.
So admittedly, I'm going to say like probably 5 or 6 years ago, you and me had a conversation about technology. You're like, dude, there's some really good technology out there. You told me. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, we don't need that. I'm like, we call people and personally tell them what's happening. And the technology piece for me, now I have the highest and best and most recent thing. I'm like addicted to technology.
You're probably using it more than I am on AI.
Probably. I am so addicted to it now. To me, it's like a puzzle. It's crazy. It's like a mind puzzle. So, I mean, real estate, speaking of the future, where do you see the industry going? We have had a lot of changes, right? With commission recently.
Yeah.
I've also noticed that it's getting competitive with commission. Some people are reducing commission. Some people are not selling their value.
Right.
Where do you see it going in the next 5 years?
I think that, there's a lot of talk about AI and all this. And I think the one thing that is becoming more and more valuable is human connection. And you need a lot of human connection during buying and selling real estate.
My coach says authenticity is like the biggest thing now.
But that word gets thrown around, and so does human connection. It gets thrown around so much, I don't think people really understand. We just hosted a training last week on all about relationships. Like, do you have a system to help you keep up with the special moments in your clients' lives? Like, are you reaching out just because saying, hey, I was driving through your neighborhood and I was just thinking of you and your family? Like, it's hard to put a dollar amount on those things. So that's why it's hard for people to like conceptualize if it's worth their time. But that is how you will always have a business and win, right? Pouring time into those things. And so I think that the agents that continue to focus on, of course, having the right leverage and the right tech to help them focus on building more of the human connection are going to win all of the business.
Forgive me if I'm or if I'm right or wrong on this or tell me, but the way I see it is like you come into real estate, you work the leads on a team. If you're on a team, you work your sphere. It takes a good year or two to start building some referral business because it takes you time to pour back into your previous clients in order for them to really start re-engaging. And I feel like if you're in the business 4 or 5 years and you've done everything right, your phone rings.
Yeah.
Your phone rings with referrals. And working on a team, that's just dessert. That's like gravy.
Yeah.
Right. But your referrals or your sphere business should be solidified, like where you're getting a lot of phone calls. Like I know I laugh about it. I'm like, when I retire, I'm going to sell my phone for a lot of money and hopefully to a guy named Joey so that he can answer the phone.
That's funny.
I mean, honestly, because my phone rings so much, thanks, but for honestly 25 years of doing business right.
But that's not just for doing things right because you've cared about the people that you've worked with.
Right.
And that has come through. And so it doesn't have to take a year, 2 years for you to see the referrals. When you meet someone, like that person knows a lot of people. That person may have investment properties.
Right.
Like that person has their own sphere. And so how in depth are you willing to go into building your relationship with that one person that it shouldn't take 1 to 2 years? I'll give you an example. I just got a text message this morning. We helped a client that came in. We helped them sell their house in Plantation. They needed a referral in New Jersey. They closed on that referral in New Jersey, and they had a rental property in Miami that one of our agents rented out. So that was 3 pieces of business
off of one client.
right? And the referral was someone that they referred us to. It wasn't even his own personal property. So, but it's hard for people to see that. But the people that do, I mean, they'll have business forever.
It's funny. So like Matt Ishbia is one of my favorite people, and I think he's awesome, and he's taught me a lot. He's running the biggest mortgage company in the country. And one of the things he says is that in your lifetime, people will average 11 mortgages. 11 mortgages in someone's lifetime. And I started counting back. I'm like, yeah, I'm like on 6. Right.
It's crazy.
And it's crazy if you think about that, 11 mortgages plus their kids, plus their relatives, like, but it's all in the way you massage and treat the client.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. In the next 5 years, we have a lot of changes. AI, social media. Obviously you're leading top team. What do you think teams need to do to survive in the next 5 years?
I think they need to remain adaptable. I'm seeing a lot of teams that are fighting the change. I'm seeing a lot of agents that are fighting the change. I just recently went to a conference where Gary Vee, I'm a big Gary Vee fan. He talked about
crazy how he built such an empire, started social media. It just blows my mind.
I mean, he posts like 350 posts on across all platforms every single day.
Yeah.
But he talks about how the demographic that he's the most concerned about are people that still have 10 plus years in their career, because that means that they've been in their career for at least 10 or 15 years. They still got like 10 more years. And so they're so accustomed to doing business one way that there's a lot of friction. Right. And so they're not remaining adaptable and coachable. And like I shared with you, is like we're all having to learn new skills. We're having to learn new social media, new content creation skills. Like we never thought we were going to need to be content creators.
Never.
Right.
And I ever think I was going to have a social media room.
Exactly.
If you would have told me this 20 years ago, I would have laughed.
Right. Right. Or maybe even 6 years ago,
Yeah, probably. You're right.
We all have to learn new skills, because we're all adapting to consumer behavior and needs. And so just make sure that you are open-minded and you're not being left behind.
So last question I'm going to ask you is, what's one thing that you still personally want to accomplish professionally? Like, what is it? What is a goal in your head? Like, this is what I need to get done.
Oh, there's a lot.
What's the big one? There's got to be a big one.
I think that real estate is an extremely lucrative business,
100%.
Right? Which is why a lot of people get into it, but they don't understand the discipline and the consistency of the work ethic that is necessary.
They don't understand starting with no paycheck every day.
Right. And I just really want to help a few real estate agents build a business that they could exit from, because that's the biggest struggle. A lot of real estate agents don't invest in their retirement. They don't think about their retirement. They're always focused on chasing that next commission check. And if you don't prepare for the future, you wake up one day and you're like, what am I going to do? Right. And so
let me tell you, that's something you don't hear from a lot of COOs, right? You're worried about the future for them, which is that's hard to find. That's a tough skill. I've talked to a lot of people, and that's not something that comes out.
Yeah.
Right. Where you're worried about that real estate agent's retirement. And it's true. We don't have retirement plans. We're not working for a pension.
Yeah.
Really, it's showing them how to invest in wealth.
Yeah. How to invest in wealth, how to make sure they have the right accountant helping them maximize their tax savings.
So you're not just teaching people how to sell real estate.
No, I mean, I don't even teach people how to sell real estate. I teach people how to build relationships. And my goal is to really teach people how to build wealth and build a retirement and a business that you could exit from, because we all can't work until we're 90. That's just not going to be possible.
No.
So I'm very passionate about helping real estate agents think about the future and setting themselves up for success for retirement.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So these are just some fun little questions that I want to ask. All right.
Okay.
So are you a coffee drinker or energy drink?
Coffee all day long.
All right. What's your kind of coffee? What do you like?
Triple shot latte. I mean, I haven't been doing that while I'm pregnant, so, but
all right. Well,
triple shot latte kind of go.
There you go. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I would say I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get more done in the evening times? Or
100. It's quiet. Unless I wake up at like 5 a.m. when no one else is awake. But I mean,
I don't know. I used to be a night owl, and something happened, I guess, when I got older. And like now I'm up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. And I'm like, this is horrifying.
I know.
And my wife is like, I'm making noise, getting ready to go to the gym. And she's like, can you let me sleep? Like, I don't have to be awake at 5 a.m.
Well, I'm sure that will all be changing over the next few months.
Will definitely be changing. All right. What's your biggest pet peeve in the office? We all have one.
I just hate when people say I can't do something. Like, why are you writing yourself off before even trying? Because it's so important how you speak to yourself. So like hearing people say like, I can't, I'm like, have you tried? Have you tried?
All right. What's one app that you can't live without?
Oh, okay, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Right now, I cannot live without it.
And wait till have you played around with Claude?
Yes, I have played it, but I'm not using it on my phone yet.
Yeah, I don't use it on my phone either, but I use it for systems and co-work.
Oh,
It's unbelievable.
For business analysis, for spreadsheets with formula. Oh,
Wild.
100%.
Wild. Best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I've ever received is everyone's just figuring it out. I think like that helped me gain a lot of confidence in my abilities, and just to like don't be afraid to ask questions and lean on people you know, and realize that the only people that fail are people that quit.
And the last one I'm gonna ask you is, what's the most underrated skill you think when you're hiring somebody? People think that's underrated.
I would say emotional intelligence. I don't think a lot of people talk about that enough. And when you are working in an environment with a lot of different personalities and people that are navigating life, and sometimes you're the recipient of just all of those emotions, not because it has anything to do with you, but just because of what people are going through, and the ability to like not take that on and not be fazed by it and separate it is really important.
That is a big one. Emotional intelligence, and especially our job is a roller coaster. For sure. And there's ups and downs, and you're dealing with the buyers and the sellers, and there's a lot going on.
And you're dealing with people that are dealing with life issues, and so really being able to just not let that hold you back and be overwhelmed by it. I mean, we're all human. We're gonna have moments that we hit a wall. But you definitely have to have a high level of emotional intelligence.
Well, I want to say thank you for coming on. Being a COO, I know it's hard to carve out time, and I know that we had found this hour to do this, which I'm really excited for. Listening to your story from the mailroom to COO, it's an incredible journey. And some points I'll take from it is obviously, one, you obviously have to believe in yourself, but I think the thing that I mostly admire is that you stuck with something that you said, I'm going to stick to it, and I'm not going to look to see if the grass is green on the other side. I feel like people they always like, if you're not happy with your opportunity, like find one that you're happy with.
Yeah.
Longevity shows. I mean, your story, if anybody's, can really show like, hey, you dedicated your time. Literally, you were stuffing envelopes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're running the company, a multi-million-dollar real estate team. So that's a heck of an accomplishment. So thank you for sharing your story with us. And can't wait for the next time we do this, when hopefully you're a mama, right? You see how that works out and how we're balancing that.
Thank you, Joey. And thank you for being a part of my journey. I know we've grown a lot, learned a lot from each other, pushed each other, which I'm always grateful for. So we had a lot of fun today.
We did. Thank you so much. Awesome.